From the snowy mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, grab a great book from We Read the Night, join the Space Travelers Club for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by donating to Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Tonight, we get all zen and find our chi with the Spiritual You, a show we do the first Tuesday of every month. Now, normally, we are joined by the illustrious Geraldine Orozco. However, due to her travel schedule, she needed the night off, which means we are happy to bring back our other favorite, the Quirky Cosmo, Kerri Ann Sanders. Tonight we are going to get into spirituality. What is it? Does it really affect all of us? We'll hit up alien agendas, numerology as well. Yeah, we're going everywhere tonight, so buckle on up. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the news with the SOR Newswire. The lovely and talented Kerri Ann Sanders. Always a pleasure to have you on Spaced Out Radio. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Dave, for having me again. Thank you, everybody, for joining and listening in tonight. I'm super excited to be here again.
I know. It's amazing how that works. It absolutely is amazing. But we're glad to have you here. Now, you are somebody who is relatively, like me, new to this field, for people who may not be familiar with who you are, yet you have had a divine awakening in yourself that made you literally change your entire life plan. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I was a regular person working a normal job and going to church, minding my own business, not thinking outside the box, sort of say. And I had a whole bunch of experiences within 6 months that led me to this awakening, a sequence of DNA activation, sort of say. But I didn't know that then. And here I am. I dove into tarot and then astrology, and my mind was just blown, and mathematics were just going all over the place, and so did I. And then I found these beautiful teachings called The Gene Keys by Richard Rudd, which, help you understand the consciousness of your genetics. And as I studied and contemplated, meditated, and healed all of the ancestral wounds and karmic patterns over the last 3 years, here I find myself on top of the mountain.
Good to have you on top of the mountain. And your energy is completely infectious. And that's why I think you and I have got along so well. And when Geraldine, whose schedule gets a little bit out of whack, we always bring you in here to come on in for the Spiritual You. What has been your biggest life-changing event as you started to realize that the way you lived wasn't the way you were supposed to live?
Well, I mean, I had a whole bunch of experiences, and thank you. Yes, our energy is pretty much off the chain. It's amazing. We have a good connection. But there was a few experiences that made me realize that I wasn't living in alignment. I was on medications for antidepressants, and my health was deteriorating. My hair was falling out. I was constantly drinking coffees and searching for energy, and my body was drained of energy. And when I started on this path, there are quite a few people that talk about the detox, and there is a detox aspect to this divine awakening. Some people experience the awakening their entire life, and it's a slow unfolding process, which is beautiful. And then others, which we like to call ourselves starseeds, light workers, indigo children, and a lot of us have come into a genetic marker from 2009 to 2017, and even now until 2020, there have been more awakenings. But these astronomical alignments create these awakening, these shifts, and in our consciousness, and so we have this sudden divine awakening, this shift. It's an instant shift. Some traumatic event might take place in your life. Like for me, it was the death of my mother, and then but 6 months later, my company died. So I had 2 deaths within 6 months, and I moved across the United States on a whim, and listening to synchronicities and the universe, of course. But here I am. But this is that quickening, and within your DNA, which causes that consciousness, with your consciousness, your own awareness of life, to start shifting. And so that was for me, that health, that awareness, that the ability to see that taking all these prescription drugs really wasn't the healthiest thing for me. There was I wasn't aware of these alternative remedies. I wasn't aware of Eastern medicine. I wasn't aware of herbs and herbal tinctures, and eating healthy food, like non-processed. I was the first one to jump on, well, what's the new weight loss trend, or what's the pill to take, phentermines, and I was very much caught up in that. So when I found myself across country, moved all the way out here to Florida from Southern California, and I moved into a community that was very much in alignment with, eating healthy. And so I was nurtured, really, and helped along to finding new paths, to eating new ways, eating new foods, healthier foods, fresh fruits, vegetables. I stepped away. Slowly started stepping away from the meat. I still occasionally eat fish, but I'm almost a full vegan. I know not everybody has to, and it's not mandatory for this path at all. It's a choice for me, but it does take time, and that's something that I'd like to say Western civilization is not fond of. We're not fond of things take time. We're programmed to have instant gratification. So that was another unveiling of these healthy habits in my life. It was taking away social media, like the mainstream media, news outlets, and it was a detox in all fields, mental, emotional, and physical, what you're eating. So it was quite a process, and it does take time.
Yeah, I don't quite understand, because bacon and Taco Bell will never leave my diet, ever. Right?
Well, then,
I'm in the pursuit of happiness. It's all about the pursuit of happiness with me when it comes to that. And by God, I could tell you, Taco Bell makes me very, very happy. Very happy.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you have taste buds, and those are, we revert back to when we were a child, our first 7-year cycle, and the food that we're actually not a grown adult until we've established the 3 7-year cycles. And this is the development of your spiritual connection, your emotional connection, and your intellectual connection. This is the firing and wiring, the programming, subconscious programming of your mind. And this comes from, the social habits and that you gain from, culture, family, friends, school, all that, and self. And so things that made you feel good. When we're a lot of times when we're emotional and we don't want to deal with our emotions, we don't know how, we don't realize that they are the emotions that we need to address. We go to eat. We become an emotional eater, things that satisfy, have a great taste, and that, satisfy that palate, that comfort us, right? Some people, they use sex to comfort themselves whenever they're not feeling good. Other people use violence. Maybe they like to get in a fight whenever they're not feeling good. There's all kinds of different coping mechanisms, but food is by far the largest controlling mechanism that is out there. And if you are really wanting to change your biochemical structure, which is your body, your genetics and all of that, then your DNA, then you would need to change the frequency of the food that you're eating. And all food carries a frequency. This is whenever you're getting into and processed food has a zero frequency. Canned food has zero frequency unless you canned it yourself and all of this stuff. All that canned food is a zero frequency, 0 hertz frequency, and it does nothing for the body but slows it down. And I can keep going on to that, but if you'd like to jump in at all, you can.
Everything we do affects what we do. Everything. There's
right.
there's not a darn thing on this planet from the time we wake up until the time we go to bed that doesn't affect everything. How much of that is retraining the mind?
You're constantly going to be retraining the mind, and it's a good thing because because your mind has been programmed by everybody else but you, except for maybe some small little habits. But even those little habits, you could look back and see that maybe your best friend did it, and you saw it, that made them cool, or the cool kid in school did that, so you started to do it. Or maybe like the fawns, like hey, walking around. I don't know why I use the fawns, but I did. Walking around saying hey, that picked up and that made you cool, and so you started doing that. You picked up these little attributes, and so you want to reprogram you to who you are. And the best thing about that is like you're discovering who you are. And if you don't know who that is, then you get to play. And that is, to me, the biggest joy of this process of becoming, and that in that you unbecome, you unlearn, you unschool yourself from everything, from your food habits, what you're eating, and finding what you like. Maybe you don't have to just let go of meat. I personally don't, because of the frequency that it carries. But I'm at my 3 years here. It's taken me 3 years to get to this point. Even though I do eat fish. So, which, I'm still working with that as well. So everybody has a process. But yeah, the food, the programming, the mind, everything has to be rewritten by you with conscious choice and decision. And I want to kind of get in to the spiritual teachings that have been left by our ancients, and what is that really doing for us? What is that doing for people today? You any thoughts on that?
I think it's something that we all have to ask that question of ourselves, because we can sit here, and I think as society we have probably become too what's the word I'm looking for? Reliant on other people trying to solve our problems rather than trying to figure them out on our own. And how much has that affected us spiritually when we're looking for guidance elsewhere, but we're not looking internally to do that?
That's perfect. That was wonderful. I love the way you said that. Right, and it's about going inward and seeing what works for you. One thing that I do tell my clients and students is that, just because the past has been all about stillness and meditation, I mean, it's not to say that you don't find stillness in meditation. I think it's very helpful, but there are other ways. And the meditation, the stillness, has been a very masculine approach, very patriarchal approach to finding, oneness within yourself. When I know as a dancer, and I've been a dancer since I was 4 years old, and I participate in ecstatic dance, and I find that to be a very exhilarating connection between me and my higher self, is what it's referred to, or your source self, or my avatar, if you wanted to even go into deeper ideology of what this is or is not that we are. But I find that ecstatic dance helps us find that connection, if not quicker, than sitting in meditation. The practice of yoga is following the breath, the mind following the breath. And that's, again, a training mechanism. So, and that's movement, and where you're finding these releases and this connection through movement. So I always suggest that instead of just going into that meditation, people think meditation is all I got to sit still. No, you can go for walks. A walking meditation, actually, it's what you're really trying to master. We're all really trying to master the walking meditation, where while we're in our waking state, our conscious state, we're able to keep that connection to our source self, or God, as it's known. And we're living and acting in correlation with the guidance from that source self. And so I feel that walking, riding bikes, I go for drives that help me meditate as well. So sticking, not necessarily sticking with the old traditions, these old facets of spiritual practice, not to say that there's anything wrong with them, but they are limited. And I understand where they came from, and they do serve a beautiful purpose, and it does work for a lot of people. It helps them retrain. But another thing that happens is with that is people will start or yoga or a meditation practice, and maybe 6 months into it they fall out of it, and that's because it's not in full alignment with their soul. Not everybody's meant to sit there and find that meditation in just a stillness state. You can do it occasionally, but not all the time. So I find it to look for yourself and what works for you. Also, that was a time when the frequency, and I'm talking about, I'm not trying to slam people that just sit there and meditate either, but what I'm getting at is that was a time when dance movement, the divine, the feminine aspect, which has been limited, not women necessarily. It's just that the feminine energy has been limited on the planet in general, has been suppressed. And you can see this in numerous ancient teachings, and I don't need to really go into all that, but you can see that it's been suppressed throughout the eons. And so the energy on the planet, it took a very dedicated, very concentrated mind to pierce the veils, I guess you could say, and to connect to the higher energy of your source self, to rise in that Kundalini energy up through the crown chakra and find that connection. So it was a practice that was necessary for a time period whenever we were in a really dark period on this planet. And now that we've moved through, we're in these higher vibrational energies on the planet, it's more about a celebration and a movement and changing and shifting and molding new ways, crafting new ways into spirituality. And what does that look like? One of my favorite things to say is you are a spirit in body. Everything you do is spiritual. Everything from brushing your teeth to how you put on your socks is spiritual. It's a ritual. It's unique to you, and therefore it is a spiritual practice. But it takes the conscious awareness of these actions and what you're doing, or I could say the appreciation of what you're doing, and knowing that, hey, that's spiritual. Hey, that's ritual. That's your connection. Doing the dishes, I find, very therapeutic for me, because I can tune everybody else out. Nobody else can bug me because I'm over here doing what? The dishes. Nobody's going to bug me. So it's a moment of movement and meditation and a ritual in my own life, right? So some people I know, they'll use divinations to connect, and that's their meditation. They'll get there with a tarot deck or oracle cards, and they'll just start flipping through them and allowing for these beautiful messages from their source self to start flowing through them and connecting in that way. Other people draw. The artists, there's these artists that get into these trance states, and you can interview I don't know how many artists to talk to them and say, well, what led you to this beautiful masterpiece? And it just flew out of my body. It just came out of my body. I couldn't tell you where the inspiration came from. I just moved with it, and I allowed it to put itself onto paint and paper and or mold or like moldings and statues or whatever it is that they're creating. Or dance, it's through this connection, this divine connection.
Kerri Ann Sanders is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio, filling in for Geraldine Orozco on The Spiritual You. We got about 2.5 minutes here before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour. As we look for our own connection, how do we find it? There's a lot of people who struggle with that.
Well, there's the process of undoing, I like to say. If you don't know how to find it, you don't know where it's at, let's undo where you've been. What doesn't work? What isn't working for you? The process of becoming is the process of experience, of trying new things, or experimenting and trying new things. It is an experience too. So, if you don't know, and you go for a walk. If you don't like the walk and your knee gets all bummed out and you're just like, oh, the scenery is not my jam, then go for a bike ride. And the bike ride, you don't like the bike ride, go kayaking. If that doesn't work for you, then go try a static dance. If you don't like a static dance, go try and samba. You get where I'm going with this. If you don't like samba, you don't like dance, go pick up a paintbrush. You don't like painting because it's messy, put the paintbrush down and use your fingers. Grab a piece of chalk. Right on the asphalt, with some chalk. If that doesn't work for you, go get an ice block and go get, a chainsaw and start going at it. Maybe get a chisel and a piece of wood, and maybe get yarn and start knitting. Whatever it is, just try it until you find your niche. Try everything, and maybe you'll have more than one. Maybe you have one thing that you love right now, and then in a couple of weeks, it's done, and you've moved on. Allow for that process to happen as well. We're here to grow and evolve, and nothing and no one has to stay the same or has to like the same thing one day and like it the next. You're allowed to change. Give yourself permission to evolve.
Chainsaw therapy. Now you're talking my language. I like my chainsaw. I love my chainsaw.
I was wondering where that came through.
Yes, that totally came through. That is my message for the night. Chainsaw therapy tonight on The Spiritual You with Kerri Ann Sanders. Kerri, I'm going to get you to hold on. We're going to go to break tonight. We're going to give a shout out to Big Bad Bob. Hi, Bob. I know you're listening because you're texting me right now. Always good to have you listening, you and your friends. Thank you so much. Kerri Ann Sanders and The Spiritual You continues on Spaced Out Radio right after this.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you'd know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know little brother is watching.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hello everyone. This is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines Report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. I'm hanging out with all of you because it's the fun, cool thing to do. Reminder that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives. Go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Yeah, check those out while you're listening to the show. I know my good friend Heather in Massachusetts is listening tonight. Hi, Heather. How you doing? Thank you so much for tuning us in on the mighty SOR. Kerri Ann Sanders is here filling in for Geraldine Orozco on The Spiritual You as the Quirky Cosmo is going to break down spirituality. Welcome back, Kerri.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. And
exactly.
Through all, yeah.
Go ahead. Finish up.
Oh, no. Spirituality. Like, let's get into it. Let's dive deep into this. What is it? You know,
all right.
What? Yeah.
Well, let's drop the gloves on it. What is it? Take us through. How do we know we each have one?
How do you each know you have a spirit? Are you breathing? You have spirit. The breath, the spirit is the breath. Oh, it leads me to, I won't jump too far too fast. Let's start at the basics, right? Oh man, I can go all over the place. So I appreciate all the redirection over here, that you give me. Thank you so much. But no, spirituality or spirit in general is just, it's you connecting to you instead of you connecting to all of the ego programming. And that's, to say ego is, it's good to have an ego. It's good to have in your computer. So ego to me, and the way I view it and explain this is, you have a cell phone, and whenever you get a cell phone, it has all of the basics, whether it's Apple or it's Android, you have all the basic text messaging and voicemail apps on your phone. Okay, you have all the basic apps, you have the hardware that's installed. That's the ego. It's all of the factory settings, all the factory programming, okay? Well, your factory growing up was your culture, community, family, friends, and anybody that influenced you along the way. And so that made up your factory programming, your ego. And what we're doing with finding our spirit, right, is we're like, okay, well, I've got my phone, and now I want to add in Instagram. I want to add in Twitter. I want to add in, a really cool video game. I want to add in, a photo application. And so that is you adding your own ego, right? You're creating your programming. You're creating how things run, right? Although you still have the factory settings running underneath it all. So and that's the ego as well. So you have layers to this. So finding your spirit is seeing these underlining hardware programs we call ego, or the subconscious. Subconscious is the programming, and so we're changing those subconscious programmings with our conscious awareness, with our choice, and what works for you. Now, some people just jump in and adopt these spiritual practices from the East. Whether it be yoga, whether it be Buddhism, or whatever, spiritual based practice it is. There's another one that's trying to come through right now. I lost it. But there's all these different spiritual practices that you could adopt. Or Sufi, that's the Sufism, was the other one that was coming through. But you can adopt these spiritual practices, but are they necessarily a good fit for you? Some people they are. Some people it's their most recent past life experience, and it works for them. But other people, maybe they were more pagan or oriented in their past lives, and it is about, like for me, I was more pagan. I'm way more pagan oriented and esoteric. So dance and trance communication, which would be like tarot and oracle, and it is my forte. So I like movement. Other people, stillness. It's different practices, right? Or Taoism is another one, which is a branch from the Hindu practice. It was adopted by the Chinese after. And then, so there's all these different practices that you can find. But it's really finding the one that works best for you. And to me, honestly, it's called creating your own. Maybe taking a little bit of everything that you like and making a smorgasbord, going to a buffet. It's like a spiritual buffet, right? And you just load in your plate with whatever it is that you want. You got cheesecake next to your sweet potato pie, and you've got, this whole smorgasbord, all right? But it doesn't always have to be the same either. Every day can be different. And your life can be a smorgasbord of spiritual experiences. So that's really going to help you with reprogramming your subconscious, because you're creating, by doing all of these different techniques and introducing, different rituals. Maybe it's lighting candles, burning sage, ash, burning Palo Santos, maybe burning certain herbs, maybe crystals, crystal magic. There's all these different elements that you can bring into your life that create a higher frequency of connection to your source, your spirit. And what that's doing is it's telling your subconscious programming, your ego programming, okay, that, hey, I like this. And so your subconscious is like, okay, well, I don't know that you like that, because you got to keep doing it, because that's how the subconscious, it takes time. You got to repetition. That's why in school it's, that kids learn with repetition. It's the same thing with adults, 21 days, or just repetition in general. And so you're creating, through these repetitions and creating these new experiences in your life, what you're doing is you're gaining consciousness, which makes your DNA expand or oscillate, vibrate at a higher frequency. And it's also creating new neurological pathways in your mind. And these neurological pathways are the firing and wiring of how everything in your life unfolds truly. So you're wanting to create these new neurological pathways so that you're creating these new subconscious programming. Because I can keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, because with the subconscious programming, and the repetition and all that, we don't hold all of our memory in our mind, and science is just now catching up on this. If you're a person that you need all this solid proof, I highly suggest going and checking out Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, really Gaia.com is a great place to go for all of this. But I highly suggest looking at the three amigos, and that's what I refer to them as, and their work. And there's also the Heart Math Institute that you can check that out as well. And that's in Southern California. I think it's Berkeley or Southern California at least. And they have a lot of this information. It's readily available. So I'm more esoteric, which is inner wisdom, that knowing and allowing. I just allow for it to unfold. I trust in that connection that I've built, and those voices in my head, or, the feelings that I get, which is another thing that I think I should mention, is that you would feel, a lot of people are empathic in our energy body. We're not just a physical body, we're an energy body as well. We have these auras, and I know most people have heard of the infrared. Oh, look, you can go to an infrared and you can see the infrared energy around the body. So the infrared, there's more layers than just the infrared around that. But that's your aura, that's your energy body, and we're all empathic beings. Just some people are more aware of it than others. They're sensitive because they're attuned to these frequencies. They're highly empathic people, or they're known as HSPs in this community. It's highly sensitive people, and so their energy, they feel more. For me, I'm a highly sensitive person. I cannot watch scary movies because I'll take it on as my own energy. I'll see somebody get their head chopped off or their finger sliced off, and I'm feeling it like it's happening, and it's a darn movie. Sorry. And so, it's just that's how that energy feels. That there's many levels to that, but that's one of the ways that it's felt through. And some people hear their themselves speak, or they'll hear another being, or a different tone coming through to them, and that's the clairaudience is what it's known as, and that is one of our six senses. It's one of the special superpowers, I guess you can say, the spiritual power. Is the clairaudience, and everybody has this ability to have it on. Some people, most people have specific ones that everybody has the ability to turn them all on, but most people are predominant in one, either clairaudience, which is again the hearing of the voices or your own voice in your head, right, talking to yourself. And then some people are the claircognizance, which is just the knowing. Clairsentience, which is the feeling, and then there's clairvoyant, which some people, the visual. And what the visual means, it's not like there's a projection necessarily of like beings walking all around, or they see this being standing next to them when they say that I had a vision, or I see. What it is a lot of the time it's in their imagination or in their mind's eye. You'll get a pop-up of like a purple sock, or you'll get a pop-up of like something like, say you're going to a medium, and they said, well, I saw your grandfather's hat, and it was a Redskins hat, and I saw an image of a grandfather and a Redskins hat. And so it's not necessarily that they saw a Redskins hat on the table or your grandfather in front of them. It's just, or a grandfather in front of them. It was just that they saw that quick flash in their mind, in their imagination. Just like whenever you go, oh, well, where did I lose my keys? And you think real quick, you think real quick in your head, and you imagine yourself like, oh, I threw them into the tray where I normally put them. And then maybe they slid off the tray and behind, and you can see them sliding, tossing because you were in a hurry, and you saw them slide off and fall into the ground. So in that sense, how you're replaying that visual in your mind is how a lot of clairvoyance works for people. They're replaying an image that's in the collective energy and that they're tapping into, and that's known as an Akash energy, because like I was saying in the beginning of this, we don't hold all of our memory in our mind, our brain. It's actually a field of energy, like our energy body, like that, like the heat, right? That I was talking about the thermal right. Heat. Right. And so we have this energy field that we're connected to, all of us, every one of us are connected to the energy that's on this planet. And I'll make this really quick. These energy is what we like to refer to as ley lines. Ley lines are the magnetic energy fields that are around the Earth, vertical and horizontal and parallel. Now the parallel energy is not actually created from the outside. It's coming from the inside. The parallel lines are coming from the inner earth, where all the crystals in the earth are at. Earth itself is, they say it's a rock, and in its essence, yes, it is a rock, but there's crystals, and that crystal technology is what runs your phone, your computers, and your TVs. It's called quartz crystal. And it's actually where I live out here on Siesta Key. They have, it's not just Siesta Key, it's multiple beaches. Over in Clearwater has it as well. But it's 99.9% quartz crystal sand. And that's because Sarasota, Florida, is actually on a huge quartz crystal line that runs in the inner earth, and it runs all the way up through Tennessee. There's quartz crystals, amethyst. There's all kinds of crystals. You can go to a gym show, look this all up online if you'd like to. But there's all these crystal mines that run through the earth, and that is her energy. That's, how she stores her energy, and her referring to this earth as a female, because she's nurturing all of this life on the planet like a mother. So that's where my reference. I'm sure that this earth is an androgynous being, but in my mind, I refer to it as a mother. And so all of this energy it's all interconnected. So there's this external energy that is created, right, that hosts all of our collective, and I mean our humanity's collective energy field, our thoughts, our emotions. And it's very much mimicked or mirrored like it is in your body, your auras, your energy fields. Okay, so you have a mental, an emotional, and you have a physical. Okay, and there's more than just that as well, but we'll just stick with some basics here. And so all of these crystal lines that run through the earth, that generates and it holds frequency, it holds memory. And then that creates an energy field as well. And then there's the external, which are called the ley lines, right? And that's actually what the planes fly across and use as the electromagnetic fields. And that's also how the 5G or any 4G, 3G, doesn't matter, all of the frequency towers are connected to. They run off the pulse frequency from these electromagnetic fields. And there's also another energy that's not really talked about, but it's called the magma lines, and it's where all the volcanoes, that is actually iron, and the molten lava carries iron in it, and we get iron is a conductor, or not iron, copper.
Right.
Apologize. It's iron and copper, but I was getting at the copper. Copper is a conductor, so the magma, what it's doing is it's causing it's conduction. It's increasing, so it helps to increase the magnitude of the energy on the planet. So when we see these volcanoes like we saw in 2019 going off like crazy, it was a good thing, because what it was doing, it was increasing the frequency of the electromagnetic sphere, the ionosphere of the planet. And so it was heightening the frequency that humans and all plant life and animals, anybody that's on this planet, was experiencing, which is good, and that's what causes people's DNA, which is based on frequency. We're made of water, and water is programmable. Okay, so the Earth's water is programmable as well. I can keep going on and on. I'm telling you guys, I can get so far out here with all of this information. But
you're doing well. You're doing well with the woo. You're doing well with the woo right now. Keep it up.
Well, with the woo. All right. So with getting back to where we're at with the ley lines and the collective conscious field, the mind doesn't hold everything. So what we do is when our DNA is increased, our consciousness, our awareness, and we have access, to information that we can read that proves that proves to our ego that, oh, this is real, or I can digest that, I can believe that, then what happens is it makes a shift in your DNA, and you're able to expand because you made a shift in your DNA, right? You've raised the frequency of your DNA from the stagnant level that it was at to a higher oscillation. It's like going up an octave in whenever you're tuning an instrument, right? You go up an octave. So whenever you go up an octave, you're actually opening up your receptivity, because your brain, it acts as a receiver. And what you're doing is you're opening up that reception, your ability to receive new information, more information, new information, right? And so that in itself is where that's where you're getting access. You know, they people that like geniuses, right? It's not necessarily that it's their thoughts, it's just that they have increased their ability to receive information that's so quantum, it seems cosmic or universal, and it is. And it's coming from God's source. It's coming from beyond man, right? And that's how we've gotten these great inventions on this planet. That's how we've gotten these ancient texts and, you know, all of these beautiful teachings, spiritual teachings. It's from connecting to this cosmic mind, to God. And so the more that you expand and your awareness and your consciousness, or your vibration of your own self, your cells, then you're connecting to this God consciousness. And you are able to not only change your neurological pathways, you're having more access to information that is new to you, that's new to everybody, right? Because only you have your vibration and your frequency, and in your lineage. There's more in depth, and I'm not going to get into that on this right now, but that is the basic point of it. And it's coming through these frequencies, and that's how we're changing. And it's through these new neurological pathways. And you just got to keep that repetitious. It doesn't have to be the same routine. All you have to do is keep growing and keep expanding your awareness. And it's not necessarily consciousness. It's just your awareness of things. Your consciousness will grow as you become more aware of things. And when you become aware of your patterns, it's like You're saying, goodbye, old program, and you're throwing away the old program. And then now you have new room in your subconscious, which is the retained memory that you have. Right.
All right, Kerri, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. Kerri Ann Sanders, the Quirky Cosmo. You can find her YouTube channel under the same name, Quirky Cosmo. Highly suggest you do, because she is entertaining and lovely. She's filling in for Geraldine Orozco on The Spiritual You that happens the first Tuesday of every month. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio and more Zen and Chi talk right after this.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is watching.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter @Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com. A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thielen. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter @Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend with us. We want to say hello to everyone listening in on our favorite terrestrial affiliates, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. On the digital side, we're proud to broadcast on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. What the hell? Oblocutor. Why can't I say this? Oblocutor. Oblocutor? Whatever it is, that's the password for tonight. The Clam sets it each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight we are talking the spiritual you. It happens the first Tuesday of every month. Filling in for Geraldine Orozco, who is traveling, is the Quirky Cosmo herself, Kerri Ann Sanders, all the way down in sunny Florida, where it's warm. Yes, welcome back, Kerri.
You say warm, but we just had a cold front that lasted too long.
Oh, no. Oh, no, yeah, a cold front. I've got snow. I got fresh snow falling outside. Yeah, a cold front.
It was 59 degrees. It was so cold.
T-shirt weather. T-shirt weather.
I know, but I don't do well with the cold. Like, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I do love when it gets cold here, because then I can get all snuggly. I can bust out with my 2 sweaters that I own and all my blankets. And I sit in this vortex of warmth, in the snuggly weather.
You have a whole 2 sweaters?
2. I have 2 sweaters. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
I'm not very prepared if it does snow. I'll put it. I'm in southern Florida. Well, sort of. It's South Central Florida on the West Coast. But, it's, so it's pretty much warm here. So it did get hit, though. These snowbirds, they kept they brought their cold with them. That's for sure when the season hit. So.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's get into a little bit of numerology here, because you are looking deeply into this, especially with the numbers 3, 6, and 9. What do those mean?
It's the vril. So, which most people, when you hear that, you might reference it to a society, a vril society, an occult society, or even the Nazis at that, which it's the bad rap, but it's not all of the truth, and it's been deeply submerged. And what the vril is it's like, it means life force. And it's the life force of the universe. Now, we just spoke about how the Earth has its electromagnetic sphere, right? And the energy around the Earth, quintessentially.
Yes.
Now, that's one. That's one planet's energy, right? That's our energy here. And then we have our Kundalini energy. We each carry like 700,000 or 700,000 volts, billion volts of energy within our body, and then the Earth has it, and so the universe itself has life force energy, and it's called vril. Or I'm not going to get into any other terms on this one, but it's called vril. It's what it's referred to, or prana, or chi, and other other names, other cultures. But this vril energy is what Tesla was talking about. It is the energy of outside of the circle. It's the pyramid. It's what all things come back into, the 3, the 6, and the 9. And when you're dealing with mathematics, you can see how these energies, they intertwine. And numerology, that's a whole other field of itself, and it's the consciousness of the vibration of each number, which is what we're seeing when we're talking about the vibration is the hertz frequencies. And so that's the language of the universe, is math. And the vril is harnessed by the energy of 3, 6, and 9. And to harness that, the energy of 3, 6, and 9, or numerology, or hertz, and you can not just only 3, 6, and 9. Now, the thing with numerology is you can have double-digit numbers, like you can have 33, and that is like to break it down in numerology, you're going to take any double digits and you're going to bring them down to a single digit, solid, just one through 9, okay? And so what you do is like 33 would be 3 plus 3, and that equals 6. So that's going to be the frequency of 6. So you can look up in numerology, what is the frequency of 6 in a consciousness, or what's the hertz, right? And so, or multiples of that energy, if you want to multiply it by 3 octaves, then you're going to have 6 times 3 is 18, and the 18 is 1 plus 8 equals a 9. So you just amplified it and turned it into a 9 frequency. So, but that with the vril on the larger scale, right? This is the larger scale, is we're taking all of the odd numbers, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Those are the odd numbers, or they're not odd, but they're not the 3, 6, and 9. They're not the vril energy. Those are the earthly energies, whereas 3, 6, and 9 are the universe. And that's why Tesla's information was so suppressed, is because he spoke on, well, why would we just harness the earth? Why only harness the earth's energy? Why only deal with the magnetosphere? Why only deal with that? Why wouldn't we go beyond that and tap into the cosmic energy, right? And that energy is where it's free. If you're able to harness, and it's free, earth energy is free as well, but anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but it's an abundance of energy that we're able to tap into. And when we're tapping into that cosmic mind, the God consciousness, we're tapping into the frequencies of 3, 6, and 9. And that would represent a dimension, or a consciousness a density level of consciousness, and within yourself, within your vibration. And we all have the ability to act as conduits to anchor in this real energy. And you can, if you studied slightly, even just a little bit of research on the Nordic traditions and ruins, to be specific, you can, the 24 runes, they each represent a vertebrae, and not just the lower coccyx area, but the vertebrae within from the neck and to the, what is that called? I can't remember, just slipped my mind. But it's all the 24 vertebrae, and each one of those runes represent a dimension within yourself. And this is what they call the dimensions, or the realm of the gods. And when we're tapped into that energy, it's not just your own kundalini. It's not just your frequency that you're pulling up from your kundalini is a microscopic version of the cosmic life force energy. You have your own. And then the earth has her own, and then there's the cosmic. So you have a piece of the pie, quintessentially. And so when we're tapping into these 24 dimensions of yourself, you're tapping into these levels of life force, of real energy. And when you're working with the ruins, or the gods, or the God consciousness, you're able to actually heal your connection to this life force energy that has been deeply suppressed, especially if you're dealing, so with healing, I'm just going to be a little off topic right here. Anybody that's got back pressure, back problems, or they have like their compressed spines and stuff like that, what you're experiencing is a physical manifestation of a compressed level of consciousness connection to that dimension within yourself. So if you've got like I won't get too much into, because I honestly don't know all of the what are they called, the vertebrae. I don't know them all offhand. This is a rather new study that I've been drawn into, and I love it because I love just seeing the whole picture and then putting pieces together. But if you're dealing with certain vertebrae that are compressed, just, get a ruin, look online, you can look at the ruins and you can see each ruin represents a vertebrae. And they have a certain god, and that god has a mythology, and that myth will help you, or it has a legend, or it has a tool, or a chant, or a mantra, if you go with a Hindu, okay? But it has some action that you can take, whether it be physical or mental or emotional, that you can take in order to heal that vertebrae, or that realm of the gods within yourself. And so, and there's the 24 symbols that go with it as well. So, and it's just a little side note for anybody that's dealing with that. So if you want to heal your compression in your backs, then it's to heal those dimensions within yourself, and those, so you can have different access to this. Okay. Now, Vril itself and Tesla in 369, this is all about the mathematics. And what I stumbled upon was how everything with a 45-degree angle, if you put it into the vortex math, which is what is used for the Fibonacci sequence, is the vortex math, is where you take the number that it is, like 0, plus the next number, which is 1, and then you add it to itself, and then the 0 plus 1 is 1, and that's, this is how then you get the 1 plus 1 is 2, and then you're going to have 1 plus 2 is 3, and then 2 plus 3 is 5, and so on and so on and so on and so forth, right? So it's the number plus the answer, and then the equation plus the answer, the equation plus the answer, so on and so forth. And that gives you the beautiful Fibonacci sequence. Well, if you're looking at the pyramids and all that, they are all programmed or calculated with the Fibonacci sequence. And it's based on that 60-degree angle, okay? And the 60-degree is the sextile, which is a beautiful, in astrology, that 60-degree angle is beautiful. It's harmonic, right? It's very harmonic. It turns out to be 432 hertz tones, frequency tones, sophionic tones. But what I stumbled on was the 45-degree angle, which whenever you calculate that out, it turns, so you got 45. Well, if you start at 45, you can start at 1. I was just explaining the Fibonacci sequence, but if you start out at 1, then, you get all the way up. It doesn't actually have 60 in there. It skips it completely. So it was kind of threw everything off for me. I'm not going to get too much into the details on the math and all that. But what I got with the 45-degree angle was everything equaled up to be 9. Everything equaled up to be 9. And then, so no matter what it was 45, 0 plus 45 is 45, 4 plus 5 is 9, and then 45 plus 45 was 90, which is 9 plus 0 is 9, and then 45 plus 90, which is 135, which 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9, and so on and so forth. It keeps repeating itself. Everything equals 9. So 45 kept adding up to 9. Well, what this led me to was to finding out about the Roslyn Chapel, and it's a church, and how it's called classical tuning, and it's 422.25 hertz. And that's what was used to tune all instruments, okay, up until the 18th century. And now we all use 432 to attune. But the classical attunement was the 422.25 frequency. And that put us with the natural Schumann's resonance of the earth, the natural pulse of the earth, which put us at 27 hertz, which is the frequency of all plant life, most living plant life. And then it goes up from there in natural scales of oscillation, which is in the increasing of that frequency, the multiplication. So 9 times 3, it'd be 27. So 2 plus 7 is 9. So it keeps going up, and you see it's all multiples of 9, and that is the pinnacle. Even 3 plus 6 is 9, and then if you put 3 plus 6 plus 9 is 18, and 18 is 1 plus 8 is 9. So it's all of these keep going back to 9, to the pinnacle number is at 9. The completion, the holy, the divine is 9. And so anyways, going back to that frequency, so this Roslyn, the Roslyn Chapel, and that tuning, the whole church is actually a healing chamber. And when you're in there, when you're singing without even acoustics or anything else, when the song, anything singing, it's at the natural. It's 422.25 hertz. Okay, and so you get in alignment, attunement to nature. So if you're riding high in your frequency, then you're going to be in a state of chaos, a little bit of chaos. And the higher that you go, it's like you go into these higher states of gamma. But your body can also be in anxiety, and it can be in distress. And those types of things are what we're looking for to heal in our body. So when people would go to church, let me see for an example, death begins at 25 in hertz, MH hertz, okay? Receptivity to cancer begins at 42 MH hertz, or HZ. And then receptivity. So then we have candida, which is the yeast that's built up in most people's guts from eating too much sugar, and which stops people from being able to get these. Your stomach's actually where the mind is told what to do. It's the intuition, your gut. And if your gut is backed up with yeast, candida is what it's known as, then you're not actually getting the full receptivity from the information from your mind and your stomach, your gut mind, your gut brain. And therefore your mind is not receiving its signals to change, maybe those subconscious patterns. So that's why it's so important about the food that you eat, because it can either cause the candida yeast to grow and create parasites in your stomach. They're called, the stomach bugs, the worms and parasites that live in the stomach and feed off of the yeast, processed foods, and high sugar intake, not natural sugar, false sugar, fake sugar. And so you're not actually able to absorb the nutrients that you need. You're not receiving the receptivity from your gut brain to your mind. Your mind isn't getting the new subconscious programmings, and the yeast in your stomach, the candida, is actually going to your brain because your brain is made of 70% fat. And so your brain is going to start storing the sugars there. And so that's also, fat is where metals are stored in your body as well. And metals deflect any electromagnetic. That's why you see with Magneto in X-Men, he's got a metal hat on and deflects any external electro frequency coming in. So you're not able to receive this higher consciousness, this information. You're not able to expand and tap into the God source consciousness. So you really want to watch what you're putting into your diet, and you want to detox from metals because you're blocking yourself from being able to grow in your spiritual connection to your source self and God consciousness, which you are. But anyway, so the candida starts at 58 hertz, and disease starts at 58 hertz. Colds, flus start at 57 to 60 hertz. So, and then you have like your healthy body frequencies, and which healthy body, genius brain is from 80 to 82. Then the brain frequency ranges from 72 to 90. And human body is 62 to 78. And thyroid, which is really important, is 62 to 68. And thymus is 65. So I can keep going on and on with all this stuff, but they have all these frequencies listed online. You're more than welcome to go and look them all up yourself. But these frequencies is how we're attuned and how we operate naturally with the planet and these electromagnetic frequencies that surround the planet. And that even on the bigger scale, the cosmic scale, the vril energy, right? That 9 frequency. So what if you look at the pyramids, they're actually attuned to the frequency of 432, and that's what is it, like 15? Hold on, let me do the math. 32. Hold on, I calculate in front of me. I should have had this done already. 422.25 minus 432, and it's 9. It's almost 10 degrees difference. Okay, we're almost at 10.
All right.
You want to round it out?
Kerri, I'm going to get you to hold on, and we'll continue that right when we get back on Spaced Out Radio. Numerology, spirituality on the Spiritual You. Filling in for Geraldine Orozco, Kerri Ann Sanders. We'll be back with more on Spaced Out Radio right after this.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there. You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We're bringing you something new to the documentary world. Beyond the Spectrum will take you on an historic tour of topics like no other. Sasquatch, UFOs, government secrecy, and more, keeping you on the edge of your seats through the eyes of legendary truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Richard Dolan, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and Jack Casher. Head on over to Amazon Prime or Tubi TV and check us out. Please leave a comment for the filmmakers on their film's Amazon page.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Thiemer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. What a pleasure it is to be here with you tonight. Want to remind all of you that, if you are hanging on out and wanting to be with us, but you want more, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, grab a great book from We Read the Night, join the Space Travelers for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. Filling in for a traveling Geraldine Orozco, we have the Quirky Cosmo. Kerri Ann Sanders, filling in on the Spiritual You. This is a segment we do the first Tuesday of every month where we get into the spirituality and the Zen and the Chi of all that is life. Quirky Cosmo is her YouTube channel. Kerri Ann, welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Anytime.
All right, so we're going to jump back into where we left off. So we're talking about the Vril, and we were talking about, which is the universal energy, and then we were talking about the earth and its energy, and we're talking about frequency, we're talking about classic tuning, which is 422.25 hertz, and then we're talking about the Fibonacci sequence tuning, which is 432 hertz frequency, which is good too. Not saying either are bad, but here is the jam. Here's what people want to know. What is the difference? Why does it matter? Okay, so the pyramid, the Fibonacci sequence, and here, my point, run this through one more time. Everything with 45-degree angle is equaling up to 9. The Fibonacci is that sequence is all the numbers add up to 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and it keeps adding up like that. And then 4, and it's all of the numbers on the outside. So it's 1, 4, 5, 2, 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 7. Yeah, and those are the numbers that they keep adding up to, right? Those numbers. And those are the frequency. The Fibonacci sequence is the energy of the Earth. And the 45-degree vortex mass, that is the energy of the Vril. And so the pyramids and all of the monolithic sites, okay, the structures and sites, are all programmed or structured, calculated, created on the vortex mass. But that's the 432 hertz. That is 10 degrees above the Schumann resonance, which is the natural frequency. It's about 10 degrees, it's 9. But it's above the Schumann resonance. So it's a little bit higher. which is not a big deal, but after a long period of time, that adds up. That number adds up. And that makes time have to expand. And we go from having a 360-degree hole, okay, to 365, where we're at right now, on a hole meaning like a solar cycle. And that means how long it takes for, the sun to go, or the earth to go around the sun. It's 365 days, whatever. The Mayan calendars were 360 days. And the Mayan calendar is some of the oldest calendars that we have to date. And they did 360, okay? This is like 9,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, 9,000 years ago, longer, okay? But what we're seeing is when the energy from the Fibonacci sequence, and that's all in like the pyramids, and those date back further too. But I'm not going to get all into the antiquity and what is right and what is wrong. I'll let you make your own decisions. But I'll tell you this: the real energy, the universal energy, is 9. It is 9, and anything else, because 3 and 6 equal 9. It equals back into itself. 9 goes back into itself. Even, anyways, I already did the math on that earlier in the show. This energy of the Fibonacci sequence keeps the Earth's energy locked in. And those monolithic structures, in my perspective, my opinion, okay, those monolithic structures are anchors to keep the frequency of Earth at a certain decibel, at a certain frequency. And that abnormal frequency, which is it's not that it's abnormal, but it's locked in, but it also is a finite system because it doesn't go back into itself. It doesn't divide back into itself. It doesn't return it back into itself. And the 9 is an infinite system. It comes back into itself. So what these monolithic structures are doing is they're keeping the Earth's energy from expanding and from connecting to that natural cosmic energy. Okay. And so what that's happened is kind of like, you can say, a hijacking, a matrix, a matrix code that keeps us, humanity, Earth, locked into this finite system. Finite meaning it will fizzle out, and it has. That's why consciousness is expanding and people are awakening the way that they are, because this is the dawn of Aquarius. This is the golden age. This is when we return to nature. We return to the natural rhythm, to the cosmic flow, and God. Okay, God consciousness, Christos consciousness. Okay, and these frequencies, and it's not to say that, if you got a tuning fork that's at 432, it's wrong. Nothing's wrong with it. These are natural frequencies as well. They do appear in nature, and it is a fraction of a whole, but it's not unorganic, but it's one that doesn't go back into itself. A finite energy. Whereas what we're wanting to harness is the energy of 369, which is 9. And you're wanting to harness that universal energy. And so when we're looking at these monolithic structures, their purpose is to keep a certain frequency bandwidth on the planet and act as anchors to do this, to keep that finite system going. And after a long period of time, it takes effect. And that's why you see the sacred geometry or the Fibonacci sequence in all of life, because it's been happening for 25,000, almost 26,000 years. And so if you want to look into what God, what is said about God, and we're all created equal but individual at the same time, not everything is supposed to have the same geometry. Not everything is supposed to have the same shape. And we're all supposed to be interdependent. which means that we work and we work together, we work with each other, and we are a oneness consciousness because we all have the ability to tap into that God consciousness, but we're all individual, we're all unique. And that's the whole idea of creation, is to expand. And for you to be you and for me to be me. And for Jane and Joe and Sally and Bob and Tom to all be them. But not for everything in the universe to have the exact same sacred geometry and spirals and stuff like that. That is what we'd like to call a hijack system. That is a matrix overlay. That is, in my world, the one that I live in, is the negative alien agenda, or the dark agenda, or the elite, whatever you want to call this. Okay, this is that code that they implemented in large scale to throw everything off so that you wouldn't be in harmony with nature. Okay, why would they stop tuning all instruments, which heal? Music heals, frequency heals. It's proven. Frequency heals the body. Okay, all these 18th century and below and before chapels, all these hidden secrets. These are the occult secrets. This is what the church didn't want you to know. Okay, they all have the Vatican has this blueprint. The church, a lot of the churches in Europe have these blueprints. Okay, and now they have that blueprint of the 422.25 frequency, which, by the way, is the frequency of Venus as well. Okay, Venus makes this pattern. Okay, the flower of life, the true flower of life. She makes this pattern, and it takes 8 years for her to make this pattern in the sky. And you guys can look this up, okay? And that is shown in these temples. Venus would be the hive, the beehive, and that frequency, the Venus frequency, okay, which Venus's alchemical property is copper, which is a conductor. So the property of Venus, so Venus going around is the conductor. So she's conducting, and that's the heart energy. The Venus is known as the heart of the sun. And we are the sun. So it's our heart. It's our heart frequency that these chapels are also attuned with. And all of these churches, if you warm them up to a certain degree, which is like 33.7 Celsius or something like that, if you warm that up to there, it brings the octave of the churches from 422.25, which is the natural Schumann resonance, to the 432 hertz, which brings you into the not gamma, but it's just about that state right before you get to gamma. It is, I wrote it down. It's the very frequency where the human brain switches from beta, wakefulness, to heightened gamma awareness. Okay. And so it's not to say that 432 is about hertz, it's not. But whenever our planet's natural is 422.25, and we have these monolithic structures that are set at 432, what they're doing is they're anchoring in a 9 degree difference, almost 10 degree difference. And over a period of time, you're having to add, like say 30 years, you're having to add that's 30 degrees. And then 30, and then more, and then more, and then more. And over time, your whole, which a whole is 360 degrees. After time, your solar rotation that you have to account for, okay, for planting, harvesting, living, breathing, being on this planet, you have to add time. As per why we switch from the pagan calendars to the Gregorian calendars created by the church. Okay. And so, which, they have this great concoction of pi and which is, which pi is 3.14159265359, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Just keep going, right? And that energy keeps going. So you have to keep adding. You have to keep adding. You got to keep adding so it doesn't burn out, doesn't fizzle out, right? So the Mayan calendars have the 360 days. Why? Because they understood how to work with the solar system. They had with the solar cycles and the frequencies, the natural cycles of the planets. The music of the spheres is what it's called. The frequency of the spheres, the music of the spheres, and how they worked in unison with the Earth. But these monolithic structures acted as to throw it off, like not a wobble, but you can think of a wobble. And it's like my friend actually told me earlier, she gave me a great analogy, and it was like you have weights in a tire. If you don't have the weights on the tire, they have a wobble, or they're a little bit off, right? The same thing with the Earth. So they throw us a little bit off, and our frequency is a little bit off. And so we're all living in a state of chaos, quintessentially. And your cells are in chaos. You go into disease. Your body will go into disease, and then you start decaying. And that's where the human, and there's a lot that goes, a lot of people, especially Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joseph Dispenza, all that, they talk about the human body wasn't supposed to die. You can actually talk to your cells and you can heal yourself, and, this frequency, and this is what it is. This is what happened. This is the negative alien agenda. This is the new world order. This is their mathematics. This is their scheme. Oh, well, it's the seed of life. No, it's the flower of life. It's the daisy of death. It's the Fibonacci sequence. It's the golden spiral. It's the spiral of death. And it's to throw humanity out of natural resonance. Right. Okay. So, this is kind of what I came into over the past couple of days, not going to lie. And no sense to. You can do all the due diligence you want to. So anybody out there, and do your math. Do it yourself. I've given you everything else you can look it up to. But this from what I've learned, from what I've seen, what I've been studying or seeing play out. This is it. And it's not to say that you got tuning forks again because they're 432. They're wrong. They're not. It's going to do something for you. It's going to bring you out of that. It's going to bring you out of that. What did I say again? Out of the beta, and it's going to put you in a higher state of gamma. And the higher you go, the higher you get in conscious or connection. Or if you don't know what that connection is, it throws you into anxiety. It throws you into depression. It puts you into a disharmonic frequency in your body. Especially if you can't handle the higher states of oscillation. If you don't know what grounding is. Some people don't even know to go take their shoes off and go put their feet into the ground to ground, to take the negative ions out of their body. And, the natural way of healing. Rubber soles actually were introduced to keep people from being able to connect to Earth, to the Earth, to take out the negative energy from the body. So there's all of these tactics that were used to make humanity numb, from processed foods to social programming, schools, the monolithic structures, the Fibonacci sequence, and all of these monolithic structures. And I want to go and revert back to the pagan. If you look at the Nordic, the pagan, and the Venus temples and stuff like that, you're going to see the classic tuning. You're going to go to the Vatican, they got classic tuning. Look for the blueprints. Look it up. Classical tuning to their temples. They know the truth. It's been hidden in plain sight. And if you go on my Instagram, which is where I am always at, it seems like I'm always there. I had put out something on this. Just the other day, I was in tears of overwhelmment of this information and gratitude. I was in so much gratitude for coming into this information. So, yeah, that kind of concludes my discovery on these structures and what they were put in place for. And I can go into some Yeah, it is. It is. It's a lot, and it's I'm excited to bring this out more. I'm looking to book myself for the TED Talk and take this. I don't, dropping negative alien agenda might be a little bit far for a TED Talk, but I can, but it's not. But is it really? Because you look at the Sumerians, and it's well documented that they were giants in comparison to the slaves, the people, the human. The human were tiny, and these were the gods, right? That stood like 40 feet high or more, right? Or 20 feet, 40 feet high. Right, so these were the gods, which was Nibiru, which is planet X. If you look in all of this, a lot of it's hidden, but it's Nibiru. Planet X is Nibiru, and it comes around just about every 26,000 years. And the beings that lived on that were the Anunnaki, and that was the Sumerian gods. It was Enki and Enlil, and there's a lot of information on all this too. And it's the deep-seated information and stuff. But these were the not good gods. These were the ones that came in and they frequency spliced the human from a 12-strand DNA to a 2-strand DNA through frequency manipulation. And then they started they made all these structures and made all of these documents. Within the tablets, right? So we have Sumerian tablets, and then that even passed into the Egyptian and that culture, and continuing to create this epidemic, right? And because they knew that they were going to come back, it just took a cycle. Their planet, and this is more of that alien. It's more of the alien agenda and the dark agenda, and it's a different field to really even talk about on the air. But it's the hidden information. It's what we like to call the disclosure. This is kind of why I'd feel it'd be part of disclosure, would be understanding the difference in the frequencies and what these structures were put here for. Instead of giving so much light to this technology, this information that's just spoon-fed to us. It's spoon-fed to us. Like, you gotta look at that. Is it real? Is the information that's easily, readily available, is that really real, or is that just part of the scheme for them to be like, okay, here, you want a little disclosure, keep buying into this? Or do you want to dig a little deeper and find the logistics, find the more truth? That's part of the disclosure. It's seeing the real truth. And there's been a lot of teachings that revolve around the seed of life, or the egg of life. And the difference with 45-degree and a 60-degree angle, the egg of life is 60 degree, and the lotus of life, or the flower of life, the flower of life is 60 degrees. It's based on a 60 degree, okay? And then if you study the Guardian teachings, the Guardian Alliance teachings, which was channeled through by Ashiana Dean and her team, Ashiana Dean, and these are the Guardian Alliance teachings, and there's the lotus of life, is what it's referred to, and it's based off the 45-degree, mass. And this is what equals everything, equals back into 9, back into 9, back into 9, which goes back into itself. Will always go back into itself.
Kerri, I got to get you to hold on right there. When we come back, we're going to find out about this evil alien agenda. Now you got me curious. I am very curious about that. Kerri Ann Sanders, you can find her on YouTube under the Quirky Cosmo. I highly suggest you go and subscribe to her channel. And Hour 3 of Spaced Out Radio coming up right after this with the Spiritual You.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thieme. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines Report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefoot?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at Kajans.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month. And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate your time. We want to welcome back everyone listening in on KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. And on the digital side, we're proud to broadcast on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Oblocutor. Oblocutor is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and doing a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Grab a great book from We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers, and you can also read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, which is updated daily. For the final time tonight, we bring in Kerri Ann Sanders. She is filling in for Geraldine Orozco on The Spiritual You, which happens the first Tuesday of every month. Kerri Ann, we're so glad to have you. And right before the break, you mentioned about the evil alien agenda. What have you learned about this?
Well, I came into some teachings or information that was brought through by the Guardian Alliance, which is was channeled through by Ashana Dean and her team. And there's another teacher that I follow. Her name is Lisa Renee, and she has a website called Energetic Synthesis. And so this was just a whole another level to information, and you can call it Galactic Wars, the whole galactic history. Ashana Dean wrote a series of books called The Voyagers, and where she describes all of this information about, I haven't actually gotten through all of the books either, because I literally just came into this information in December. And so I'm really new into it and new to the whole field, but of all these dark agenda, negative alien agenda, and all of this the reptilian, draconian, Anunnaki, like all of that information. And so I found it to be, for one, I was like, what? This is like a little bit far-fetched. But the more I've read the work and seen her work, I was like, wow, there's a whole lot to this. There's a whole lot to the information. Like there's, the Cabal is like has a 10-sphere teachings, and she has the Guardian, I say she, but referring to like the Guardian teachings that she channeled through, has a 12th sphere, which represents the 12-strand DNA and represents the 12 dimensions within one Cathara grid. And she talks about in her teachings how the 10th sphere is like a limit. It's a hijacked system. And maybe that's what, I'm getting all this information on. Maybe it has nothing to do with the monolithic structures or anything like that. Maybe, I could totally be wrong on that. And I'm okay with it as well. Like I said, I'm growing and learning, and this is just a great place to, throw all this information out there and see what catches and what doesn't, and life and grow, right? But this information was just very unique, and I took to it very easily. It felt natural to actually reading this. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I've known this, like I've seen this before. And I kept getting like, you can call downloads or just deep insights and epiphanies, truly, through this information. But what she did explain was like how, through, genetic modification, or through the different genetics, royal bloodlines and things like that, as you can read about in plenty of alien novels, is the different bloodlines, the hybridizing, and what that did to the original angelic human 12-strand DNA, and how breeding with other aliens, created genetic modifications and stuff like that, and how the Anunnaki and the Draconian and other and Greys and other negative alien agenda species, other alien species that had not of the light or not of the Christos teachings, how they band together, they only incarnate into certain bloodlines because these bloodlines have alterations in frequencies that they're able to manipulate, with their frequency control. And she talks about CERN, but the teachings, they talk about, or she has talked about how like CERN is trying to actually harness the Vril, the universe's energy, and it's trying to mimic it. Basically, they're trying to mimic it to manipulate it, right? And that's the alien agenda. They're the ones that are behind it. They're incarnating into these specific bloodlines, royal bloodlines, the elite, the rulers, and all that other stuff. Like this is their bloodline, and this is what they're doing, right? So it was just a very unique experience to read, and then seeing the mathematics and the schemes that she's brought through, and teachings that she has brought through, the Guardian teachings. It's just, I don't know how you could make that up. I really don't. Like, just down to like the degrees, down to the math. Like, it's just so beautiful. I'm like, wow. So that's the journey that I've been on recently, is diving into this information. What is your take on the negative alien agenda? Have you heard of it before?
I have heard of it, and I think much like people, there are good aliens and bad aliens. And I think there's probably more good than bad out there. And, but there are some people who are having some pretty horrific experiences that cannot be explained, which is pretty tough on a number of them. I think that everybody who is an ET contactee or experiencer has had both the good and the bad. I know I have. And, the question is why? The who, what, where, the 5 W's and the how. And so I don't think it's a government-run thing. I don't think that it's something that happens as frequently as we try to portray it, because let's face it, we always want to fear the unknown, and that's kind of the way I look at it. What's your thoughts?
I just find it intriguing. I find it all very intriguing. I am really like you. I don't fear it, nor do I care. I don't care to fear it either. I've had contact, like we've discussed before on the channel, on this radio station. I mean, I've had contact before where I've seen, 14 to 20 foot reptilian dressed in Indian headdress in my backyard, and I went screaming up the stairs. Like, so I've seen craft when I was out in Southern California, and then being out here on the bay, like I've seen craft or made contact. And even after I found the Ashiana teachings or the Guardian teachings, I had contact on the beach, and I had gone into an area, it's called a vortex, and I felt euphoric. And so it was really more proof, right? It was more proof. And then she has this thing that came through called the Lotus of Life, and it's based on that 45-degree angle I was referencing earlier today that took me onto this whole trip with the Fibonacci sequence and stuff, but which actually equals out to 369, 369, 369. So I could just be completely wrong on that, and I'm cool too. But the flower, the Lotus of Life, and how the mathematics on that and how it played out and how it all came back into itself. It wasn't finite. It came back into itself. So it to me, it was like, oh my God, this is the proof that I needed to believe it, like, oh, I do believe it. Other than the fact that I was already experiencing it and I was being guided, around town and to sacred, like I literally didn't even have my phone on. And I had asked my source self, I was like, just take me to wherever it is that you want me to go. And I ended up driving to, and I'm not familiar with this area. I'm not from here. I'm not familiar with it. And I ended up driving to an ancient Indian burial ground, and it was an archaeological site. And I ended up opening up a vortex there, and you get the sense of like euphoria. At least I do. And like you're almost weightless, but you're not weightless. You're not floating, but you feel like you're floating. You feel weightless and euphoric energy, happy and warm on the inside. And that's what I was experiencing. And so to read about like, the energy that comes from that or other people's experiences was like, holy goodness. And then I've come to find out that in her teachings, these were like older, before 2012, but it was talking about activating ancient arrowhead sites and Indian arrowhead sites. And these are from the ancient original builders of, original race before the fall of Atlantis. These are old arrowhead sites or indigenous sites where lots of ceremonies were held, and they're very sacred sites. And when I was guided there, I was like, oh my gosh. It was for me, it was more synchronistic and an alignment to these teachings. And so I find this profound truth and resonance in it. Now, I'm more of an optimistic. I'm like you. I really see good in all. I don't like to see the negative, and I think a lot of it is from my own programming as a child. I had a lot of abuse growing up. So I kind of like this to be really and I'm a Sagittarius sun. So I like to be really optimistic and not think negatively, although I have learned to use discernment, find my own discernment in people. Not to say just because somebody is, not such a loving being, that means they're a negative alien. That's not true. But I'm just saying, like, in general, when it comes to going to these ancient sites or, the information that's coming into my peripheral, it's for me, or in front of me, it's for me to use that discernment, right?
Right.
And no, I definitely agree with you. Like, there's good and bad in all. Like, and we're all hybrids. I mean, I don't know of any purebred, any lineage here. We're all hybrids between the original Earth beings the original Earthers, and the cosmic beings that came here and helped reseed. So in these teachings, it talks about what Earth was actually, what she was doing as a sentient being. This Earth is a sentient being, just like the other celestial spheres in the solar system are sentient beings. They all have consciousness, which this is called in esoteric astrology, is called rays of consciousness. And there's 7, original rays of consciousness. And you can see this in the Pink Floyd t-shirt, where it's from the white light goes through the prism and comes out 7 different lights, 7 different colors of the rainbow. And, each one of the planets hold a ray of consciousness. And and that ray is what makes us, the rainbow body, our rainbow body. And the days that you're born, the time and all that and where the planets were located at the time of your birth, and 88 days prior to being born, which is like the cycle of Mercury, and Mercury is called the alchemist because it's alchemizing your body, and it's alchemizing your mind, and it's alchemizing you in the womb. So 88 days prior to being born, and the day you're born is where the celestial spheres have imprinted you on an energetic level with their consciousness, and that makes for your karma, that the subconscious programming that you're going to play out, energetic programming that you're going to play out for your karma, and then you have the rest of your life to heal it and to live in your dharma. Once you've healed it, to live in your destiny, who you are truly and choose to be, and whatever that looks like for you. But those rays of consciousness, each planet holds a specific ray, and multiple rays, but they hold specific ones prominently. And Earth is no different. She has her own consciousness. So where was I at with that?
Well, let's get back to aliens here. Yeah, let's get back to aliens here for a second. So with the contact that people are having and the contact that you have had, do you think that, and one of the big arguments out there, and it was even discussed at the UFO conference I was at 2 weeks ago, is the fact that there are, agendas out there trying to promote an anti-alien bias, almost like the movie Independence Day. And we really don't know. We really don't know what their agenda is coming here. So, is this all just human hype going on right now regarding whether or not it's positive or negative? Because the truth is, we really don't know.
Well, that's where we're at. Earth was, she was here as a nurturer. Like I said earlier in the show, it's like she's here as a nurturer, and like from what the teachings say is like she was here with everybody was supposed to come here and heal their DNA, whether they be Draconian or Orion or Vega or Sirius, Pleiades. You were all coming here from all spectrums of this universe and others to heal their DNA, because Earth itself held the vibrational frequency to heal. Okay. And you're supposed to live in harmony together, but of course we live in duality, polarity, and that didn't go as planned. And so, that's the story there is. And do I really feel like, I do feel like there's maleficent energy, but it's also a construct that we've created, like not us in this life, but through the multiple incarnations here. I feel like we've created our own, constructs of lower consciousness with the help of, other aliens that were here that were not happy either. And the Earth, you hear in this work that, or in this field, that energy doesn't go anywhere, right? It doesn't leave, it doesn't go anywhere. It just gets transmuted, right? And so if there's all of this anger, animosity, war, and damnation, all this on the planet, then it's going to stay in the astral body of the planet, the astral subtle body frequency field of the planet. And we have to transmute it. So I feel to an extent, yes, there's a negative alien agenda that, really doesn't want us to heal, and they have their own ideas. Like I was talking to my dad, he's really cool and down to earth about this, he's got Rh negative bloodline. That's the considered draconian or the negative alien or just alien in general. Bloodline, the hybrid. It's the hybrid bloodlines. And, he told me, he's like, don't worry. They need you more than you think, because they're trying to heal their bloodline. They're trying to heal their species because they're almost phased out, because they're a finite system. They don't live in love and light. They don't live by the Christos teachings, by the Christ light, the Christ consciousness.
Right.
He's like, so they need the human to keep their species alive. And so I kind of sit with that as well. I haven't fully, I am learning these teachings. I'm really new at it. And I do align with it on a deeper level. But at the same time, I understand the human and the things that we have created in our mind. But then there is, I have had the experience of seeing it in my life. So, I like to think the best of it all. I like to think that we have some good with the bad. And right now it's about seeing the good and what comes from it, what came from it, and growing in that, and not really focusing on the bad, not ignoring it, not being blind, not being naive, taking precautions, doing spiritual hygiene, setting boundaries, doing your healing, mental and emotional healing, doing your due diligence, growing, always educating yourself, admitting when you're right, admitting when you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like living a good, pure life as well as you can, but at the same time, understanding that there's more to the picture than we know. And that's the whole point of disclosure, is to see the bigger picture. So, right?
Well, we only have about 2 minutes left. And, I'm a firm believer disclosure is not going to happen. I think we'll have some sort of I think we'll have confirmation. We just will not have any sort of disclosure. There's too many secrets that will lead to a lot of questions. And if the media ever gets off their lazy asses and figures it out, they would fully understand what we're actually talking about. But with about 90 seconds to go here, do me a favor, tell everybody where they can find you, your information, and get a hold of you.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys all for joining and listening in tonight to everything that was going on. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you would like to follow me, reach out to me or book an appointment, join one of my workshops. You can reach me on Instagram and Facebook and on YouTube at Quirky Cosmo, Quirky, Cosmo, Cosmo. And my name is Kerri Ann. And I'm looking forward to communicating and growing and hopefully disclosure.
We'll see if it happens. We'll see if it happens. I don't know. You know what? You did an admirable job filling in for the traveling Geraldine Orozco, and I'm so glad that you are able to fill on in like that. It means a lot to me.
Yes, thank you for having me, and thank you everybody for listening and hanging tight with me. I know I go all over the place. So, well, thank you, Dave, for inviting me in.
Anytime. You know what we think about you around here. We love you around here, and we appreciate you taking the time for us out of your busy schedule as well. So it kind of works both ways.
Yes, it did. Especially tonight. It was great.
Awesome. Kerri Ann, thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. Really appreciate it. The next Spiritual You is scheduled for Tuesday, April 7th. Yeah. And we're looking forward to that. Hey, coming up next on the Mighty SOR, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a Space Traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thieme. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com. At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. Want to remind all of you that if you've missed most of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Grab a great book from We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. Speaking of the news, let's get to it, shall we? The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and the sometimes unbelievable. We're starting off in Canada tonight, where a grandfather says he's completely outraged after finding out his 8-year-old grandson won a raffle at a youth hockey tournament for about $200 worth of marijuana products. From Dawson Creek, Keith Riddle says that his grandson, who plays in a youth hockey league, had entered raffle tickets to win a prize. Each team is usually responsible for putting a gift basket or prize package together with a minimum value of $50. And then what they do is they have a big setup, and they use a paper bag taped in front of each of these prizes. The prizes, Riddle said, are usually geared towards children. However, Riddle's grandson had put in his in a particular bag. His family was later notified that he won $200 worth of pot. A picture taken of the child's father shows various cannabis paraphernalia, including edibles, a lighter, and a smoking apparatus, otherwise known as a pipe. My grandson thought he won a great prize, Riddle said. Dad, I won chocolate. No, son, those are bags of drugs in the chocolate. How do you explain that to a kid? The Dawson Creek Minor Hockey Association, which is about, I would say about 8-9 hours north of where I am, issued a statement explaining that the prize was meant for adults and never where the children were. The products did not appear to be on the donation table, only a photo and the list of items contained in the basket, the statement said, adding that the raffle winner had been given the option not to accept the prize. Riddle, a policeman for 32 years, called the situation ridiculous. There's no place for drugs at a child's hockey tournament, he says. The association said it is updating its policies to ensure that going forward our charitable events are in keeping with good policies and government policies as well. My question is, because my kid is in minor hockey, this has to be approved. Who would have approved such a stupid idea. Now, look, I know cannabis, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, hippie lettuce, is legal in Canada. Completely legal. But there are, and trust me, I support that. I don't use pot. I don't smoke pot. Okay, but I think it has its place and its time. And a children's hockey tournament for a raffle is not one of them. You got to be some sort of stupid to be allowing that prize for a Canadian hockey tournament where kids are around. My goodness. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. But, you know, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen here in British Columbia. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The weed is free here. The weed is free. A couple, married nearly 50 years, had just enjoyed a cocktail on their deck when they were talking about their inevitable deaths. As they walked back inside their Vermont home, a piece of ice fell off the roof and fatally struck 73-year-old Linda Friedman Scharenberg in the back of the head, according to the couple's daughter, Jodine Myers. Scharenberg was knocked unconscious and fell into the snow face first. The paramedics worked to revive Scharenberg for an hour and eventually determined that if she did wake up, she would not have cognitive function. In the porch conversation, Myers said her father told Scharenberg he didn't know how he could live without her. Well, apparently, he's about to find out. Sad story. But never discuss your death with your spouse. Never. Okay? This is karmic law right here. Proving karmic law. My goodness. The Leaning Tower of Dallas, a building remnant that went viral following a failed demolition, finally came down after 2 weeks of being struck with a wrecking ball. The concrete core of the 11-story building remained standing at an angle following the February 16th implosion, sparking a social media trend of people posting photos pretending to hold up the remnant. The demolition contractors spent 2 weeks striking the building core, which contained the building's stairwell and elevator shafts, with a 5,600-pound wrecking ball before it finally came down on Monday. De La Vega Development, the firm redeveloping the site, had initially estimated that it would take up to 4 days to bring the tower down with the wrecking ball, but it ended up taking 2 entire weeks. Lloyd D. Neighbors Demolition, the firm that conducted the implosion and the wrecking ball follow-up, said it's not uncommon for concrete cores to remain when a high-rise building is demolished. Oh, poor Dallas. Their tourism attraction gone into dust as of right now. A festival in Australia broke a Guinness World Record when 3,722 people played air guitar to an AC/DC classic. Oh, and they were jamming. They were rocking. Heads were banging, and the mullets were flowing. The Perth Festival, which this year included several tributes to AC/DC on the 40th anniversary of the founding band member Bon Scott's death, opened Sunday with a Guinness World Record attempt for the largest air guitar ensemble. Organizers said a total of 3,722 people strummed along to Highway to Hell under instructions from Australian air guitar champion Alex Roberts, a.k.a. Jinja Assassin. The group surpassed the previous record of 2,377 people, which was set in September 2011 at the San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino in Highland, California. At least they were rocking AC/DC. I mean, could you imagine if they were having to do that to like Kylie Minogue or, Midnight Oil? I mean, how would you do that? The Locomotion? I don't even think there's any guitar parts in Locomotion. Kylie Minogue's version, that is. I don't know. Good for them, though. Good for them. Hey, if you're looking for a brand new job, you might want to get your resume ready for this one. Kentucky Fried Chicken is looking to hire a finger-licking model to feature on billboards and in restaurants across the UK and Ireland. On Friday, KFC tweeted, "Have you ever caught yourself licking your fingers and thought to yourself, I'd look decent on that billboard? Well, friend, have we got a job opportunity for you? Tweet us with a hashtag KFC Fryer Me. Yeah, hashtag KFC Fryer Me One good reason why we should hire you to be our next finger-licking model. Oh, yes. In a graphic attached to the tweet, KFC said there is room in the coop. We're searching for KFC's biggest fan to be the face of our next campaign and finger-lick their way to fame. KFC is on the hunt for a professional finger-licker. Yes, one clucky fan will get the chance to tuck into some KFC's finest, winging their way to stardom as the face of the Chicken Legend's latest campaign. The winning KFC connoisseur will take part in an exclusive photo shoot showcasing their finest finger-licking skills. To enter, UK and Ireland-based KFC fans have to tweet in no more than 280 characters, a reason why they should be chosen for the one-day finger-licking turnship. In a follow-up tweet, KFC asked their Twitter followers, "For the love of God, please keep it PG." Fans have been tweeting original submissions, such as Twitter user Chloe Simon XO, who shared a photo of a couple dressed in KFC aprons and said, "I spent all day making these. I still have them available upon request. The theme was, dress is your favorite thing? Well, this says it all. Isn't that nice?" Yeah, other Twitter users said, "Good morning, KFC. I am writing today to apply for your professional taster position. I would just like to say I base my entire life on you. I have ordered KFC 45 times in the last 12 months, not counting walk-ins, and I am very qualified for this, along with the receipts of KFC purchases." The winner of the KFC Fire Me competition will win a one-day experience at KFC's Innovation Kitchen, followed by a photo shoot in a nearby KFC restaurant. An image from the shoot will be displayed in the winner's hometown and at least one KFC restaurant, including the restaurant in their area. The KFC fan who best proves their finger-licking abilities will not only have their face appear in a billboard, but they will also be awarded £150, which is approximately 190 American dollars. The competition closes March 8th, and the winner will be notified within 5 days, so it shouldn't take too long until we know who the lucky KFC fan really, really is. I could do that job. Totally. A self-proclaimed vegan runner in Berkeley, California, received major backlash this past weekend after asking neighbors to close their windows when cooking meat because the smell was overpowering and offensive. The rant was posted to @BestNextDoor, an account that houses neighborhood drama, which showed the runner had requested nearby residents only barbecue vegetables because it was hard for me at this time of year when the weather starts warming up. Several nights a week, I'm out running around dinner time, and when people have their windows open, I can smell what they're cooking, the request said. I noticed a sharp uptick recently in the smell of folks cooking meat, and it can be quite overpowering. Quite honestly, the odor is offensive, and I'm hoping our community can have some empathy for its #plant-based neighbors by closing their windows if they are cooking meat and only putting vegetables on their barbecue, the runner added. They didn't want to be a stereotype, but suggested people should join the movement, should do some research on why the odor of cooking animals is offensive. The post directed people in the area as "What's up, neighborhood? One love," received backlash on Twitter. I don't want to be a stereotype at the end of a multi-paragraph whine about how hard it is being vegan. This is performance art, a user concluded. As a carnivore barbecue chef, it is always hard for me this time of year when the weather starts warming up and vegan runners start running by my windows, another said. You know what smells terrible? Runners. Have some respect. Exercise indoors with all the windows locked, another wrote. Another person said they would roast an entire goat right outside just to spite him. Some people came to the runner's defense online, agreeing that the smell of barbecue can be overwhelming. Try being vegan in Texas. My redneck neighbors are over the back fence are hunters and have 2 smokers in their backyard. The whole neighborhood is smoky for weeks on end, and my dogs smell the bacon whenever they come from the backyard. A vegan user responded, "My goodness. I live in Texas and I eat meat and I completely sympathize with you. That smoky smell permeates everything. I really hope you and your neighbors are friends and they are worth the inconvenience. Also, you could breed dogs. Bacon lovers would pay a fortune for bacon-scented pets," another wrote. Oh my goodness, here we go. Here's a weird story. A pair of Pennsylvania women who have been best friends for 17 years, said they were shocked to discover after all this time they are biological sisters. Ashley Thomas, who's 31, and Toya Wimberly, 29, said they met in the 6th grade at Sulzberger Middle School in Philadelphia, and the pair soon became inseparable. The women said they would often be told how they looked alike and would be asked often if they were sisters, but they always laughed it off until recently. Thomas found out about 15 years ago that the man she knew as her dad was not her biological father, but her mother never told her the identity of her biological dad before she died a few years later. Thomas's late mother's best friend was recently scrolling Facebook and came upon pictures from Wimberly's engagement party. She spotted Wimberly's father, Kenneth Wimberly, in the photos and recognized him as someone who used to spend time with Thomas's mother. Kenneth Wimberly said he remembered the woman, and the group soon started to be suspect that Thomas might be the biological father. A DNA test was conducted and confirmed the suspicions. Kenneth Wimberly said he was shocked by the news. I was hurt, but also happy to find out this beautiful and successful young lady was my daughter. Toya Wimberly said in a Facebook post that the revelation has only strengthened their bond. That's why we're so similar. That's why we look so alike. That's why we've been inseparable since the 6th grade. And on that note, let's get to the thought of the day, shall we? Thought of the Day happens every night at this time, where we post a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air. Why? Well, because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. All right, here it is. How do you get over a cold? I've had this darn thing for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Started right before I went to San Francisco for UFOCon 2020 and continues to this day. And now my sinuses are like getting sore. Don't like that. Don't like that feeling whatsoever. So basically, as soon as I get off the show here, I'm going to pop some NyQuil and going straight to bed. Let's see what Nikki says. 2 drops of thyme oil on soft brown sugar. Wash it down. Take every other day. Very powerful. Use no more doses than you need. Rob and roll. It's all about popping the Jägermeister. That'll warm you up. How about some Fireball? I think I may have that. Angela. Cinnamon and honey, then a hot toddy. Oh, here's Melinda Leslie. At least 200 milligrams vitamin C every day, double dose vitamin D3, green juices, water, elderberry lozenges, rest, extra sleep. I slept all day today. This was my day. I woke up, got my little guy ready for school, got him to the bus stop, and then came home, went right to bed until I had to get him back from the bus stop. So that was my day today. Gil. Keep warm. Drink plenty of fluids. There's no cure for the common cold. Captain Shirk. So, in agreement with Melinda, vitamin C, A, and zinc lozenges, elderberry syrup, airborne sliced onions inside your socks, draws out the toxins. Serena. I have a regimen I have used for the last 5-6 years. Saline sinus flushes, hypertonic 2 times a day. Colloidal silver, 1 teaspoon, 3 to 4 times a day. Oil of oregano. No, I'm not touching that. That stuff tastes like crap. Zinc lozenges, 5 to 6 times a day. Tea made from ginger root, lemons, and honey. Sleep. Lots of it. Do nothing. Dose hubby with this when he started feeling sick last Thursday. Better by Monday. No kidding. 3 to 5 days max is how colds run in my house now. Alan, click your heels 3 times and rub the cinnamon on your nipples. Onions in your underwear. Thank you, Alan. I may try the cinnamon. That sounds a little exciting. Parker, Neocitrin shooters. Oh, I love Neocitrin. Kelly, NyQuil and passing it on to someone else. Walker, use colloidal silver to treat. Use daily and never catch a cold, Dave. Brenda, yeah, in agreements with the colloidal silver. Isn't that the stuff that turned that guy's skin blue? Remember that real-life Papa Smurf? I think he was like on Maury Povich or Sally Jesse Raphael back in the day. Scott, absinthe and rest. Matt, divorce is normally the best way. Oh, my goodness. Mark, airborne tables. I don't get that. Debbie, fire cider. Joe, Chinese tea mix of faux tea and dong quai root steeped in hot water. Cheryl, by getting bronchitis, of course. Oh, yeah, I don't need that again. Tim, go to the bar, double shot of Jim or Jack, beer back, to home, to sleep, works every time. Alcohol kills germs. John, Mucinex, DM, tons and tons of vitamin C, and go get some. Marty, hot tea, vitamin C, and zinc. Colleen, zinc, C, tons of water, at least a gallon a day, flushes it out and rest. Jennifer, go hard on the echinacea pills and echinacea tea, double up on vitamin C, combination of germ-fighting essential oils in the air and oregano oil on the feet. I like Vicks Vapor Rub on my feet. That's what I like. All right. I think that's about it. Oh, let's read a couple more. Cheryl, raise your frequency. Kelly, airborne, Zycam, and black elderberry. Gabe, lots of sleep, lots of meds, and video games. That's what I did today. Totally did that today. Michael, good health and a strong immune system is not something to be done once in a while. It's an everyday lifestyle. Thank you to everybody participating in the Thought of the Day. We'll do it all again on Facebook and Twitter tomorrow. Big thanks to Captain Shirk for the news on the SOR Newswire, and to Kerri Ann Sanders for filling in for Geraldine Orozco on the Spiritual You. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Special thanks to those in our chat rooms on LGAP, Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, Spreaker, Facebook, the SOR Space Travelers Club on our website, and Revolution Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with us, because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Watching me. Oh, like you don't sing it too. Tomorrow night, we have Terry Lovelace inside the Devil's Den. We're going to have some fun. Come join us, will you? Have a great one. Good night.